On the first weekend of 2019, I ventured to the Keystone Corridor between Philadelphia and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Amtrak operates 28 daily and 14 weekend Keystone Service trains. The Pennsylvanian also uses this route between Pittsburgh and New York City. .42 would be the only train I decided to shoot on this gloomy and damp Saturday. By Sunday afternoon, the sun came out during my visit to Middletown. The first train we'll see is 670, which departed Harrisburg a few minutes ago. The track closest to the camera is actually Norfolk Southern's Royalton branch, which splits away from Amtrak just east of here at Roy. It connects Harrisburg to the Port Road branch to Baltimore, which was also once part of Pennsylvania Railroad's electrified territory, evident by this position light signal still standing here. This is the site for Middletown's new station next to Harrisburg International Airport. The trees have been cleared away, making a new vantage for now, which I used to get one last shot of the Pennsylvanian passing the signal before its removal. Sunday only train 615 slows for their stop at Elizabethtown. I was surprised to see a sprinter leading west since most of the trains are pulled eastbound. I end the day with train 665 glinting into the setting sun east of Mount Joy. A couple weekends later, I spent some time at Rheems, catching the eastbound Pennsylvanian and Keystone Service train 665 heading toward Harrisburg. P42 number 88 leads train 42 east through the interlocking. I must say, one of the coolest things about the Siemens Sprinters is the amount of whine from the traction motors as they pass. At Salunga, train 663 passes one of the many old brick buildings along the tracks. An hour later, 42 charges eastbound along Harrisburg Pike. Even though the crossing is no longer here, E.B. Chickies Road is still a great place to railfan with clear views in either direction. New, taller catenary poles were erected when the Maybach Lane was built as an alternative route over the tracks. 43 heads straight for the camera under the new bridge with P4299 in the lead. A trackmobile started to shift cars at Espenshade Mills while I waited for train 670. Customers on this end of the railroad are predominantly served by Norfolk Southern at night when no trains are running. Flashback to March 2016 when Amtrak implemented Advanced Civil Speed Enforcement System on the Keystone Corridor. This presented a problem for the Pennsylvanian since some P42s wouldn't be equipped with ACSES until mid-April. The temporary solution was to place a sprinter ahead of the P42. Today, the Veterans Unit leads 43 across the remains of Irishtown Road in Rheems. The crossing was removed with the rest of them in 2014, but still remains memorialized for now. 42 rounds the bend 20 minutes later with another unique ACS P42 combo. I waited for 645 along North Cherry Lane, which was constructed as a detour when the crossing was closed. This part of the line runs through the heart of Lancaster County's Amish communities. Although I've grown up here and even worked for the Amish for a while, I am still fascinated by the old-fashioned culture, which continues to grow in numbers every day. In mid-April, I returned to Salunga where I found some blossoming trees while waiting for trains 666 and 663. On the first weekend of summer, I returned to Mountjoy and Salunga where the north side of the tracks is perfectly lit by the morning sun at this time of year. Train 660, the second eastbound of the day, approaches E.B. Chickies Road. Saturday only train 611 races past Salunga and will be the first westbound into Harrisburg. 3 minutes later, 662 emerges, passing under one of the many defunct overpasses along the line. At Christiana, I was surprised to find NS Local H25 heading east to Coatesville after dropping cars at Strasburg. The pair of slow-moving GP38-2s accentuate just how much super elevation these curves require for high-speed trains. They cross into Chester County, where beyond this curve the At Glen and Susquehanna branch once joined the same parallel right-of-way. The unique brick, stucco, and timber station constructed in 1900 still stands. The brick freight station, built in 1882, and the Conrail caboose were beautifully restored by the Lancaster chapter of the National Railroad Historical Society. Train 666 slows for the curve with the same train set from this morning's 611. After lunch, I paid a visit to Irishtown Road for both Pennsylvanians, which often meet near this location. Today, they passed 14 minutes apart. Half an hour later, H25 returns west with 3 bulkhead flats of steel from ArcelorMittal, operating in the 2-hour window between trains 43 and 665. .670 knocks down the 59.2 signal, which is the intermediate to the Lehman crossovers. I then went over to the curve at Birdenhand for 665, but unfortunately, the sun can't stay out for every train. Back at Irishtown Road, the sun finally swings to the north side for train 667. One Friday evening in June 2018, I went down to Bryn Mawr to catch some SEPTA AEM-7s before they disappeared from the roster. Several other photographers were also braving the 90-degree temps by waiting in the shade to grab their shots of the trains passing the 1915-built tower. While we were waiting, train 649 slices through the SEPTA commuter rush. "45 minutes later, train 651 crosses from track 4 to 3. I hope you enjoyed this video, and will stick around to watch some of my other Amtrak videos. I greatly appreciate those of you who leave a comment and hit that thumbs up button. Thanks for watching Central Penn Rail Productions.